Hi everyone, welcome to Divine Sacred Tarot. Today we're going to look at the Divine Feminine's sense of intuition. So I've already blessed and shuffled and pulled out some cards, and I needed time to kind of ponder what those cards meant before I hit record, rather than shuffle and receive those intuitive insights. And obviously they'll still be coming through as I'm recording. But the spread overall, like if you've got a tarot deck and you want to pull these cards out, please do. Because we have the Knight of Swords, we have the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, the Hanged Mouse, which is the Hanged Man, the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Five of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Cups and the Judgment card. So the bottom of two decks, should I say. Now, overall, this spread it's quite powerful. It's very emotionally charged. And I mentioned this in an Instagram reel, so I haven't actually shared this YouTube until much later. But I feel that there are a few feminines who have made an intention, like you've had an intuitive hit, you've made an intention, and you've basically wanted to stay in your own energy. You've chose to detach from any external validation or even emotional entanglement from people, places, and things, right? This is reminiscent of last week's videos, but especially around your twin, I'm getting. So if you're resonating as a twin flame, then this is definitely for you. And even if you are kind of like in that middle ground of, yeah, you have a twin, but you're totally focused on yourself and you're just looking for deeper insights and acknowledgements about how far you're coming. Well, this message is just to let you know, because you're choosing self-sovereignty, this is a reflection of both the inner battle and the profound transformation that is coming from the choices that you're making. So you are choosing a new reality, but it basically is a lot of overthinking that is happening right now. A lot of the messages are going to be sent through a dream state. So you're going to have constant dreams. You're going to go through some of these situations in the dream state. You may be sleeping deeply, but you may also be waking up at early hours in the morning. And the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Swords just together signify this impetuous energy. It's this sense of overthinking, but I feel that either you or your person has this strong urge to act quickly, maybe even impulsively. That's the type of energy that comes through. But it's really not coming from an authentic place because it's still layered with anxiety, guilt, pain, fear. It's not coming from a good place. And I feel like your intuition of, oh, you might hear from somebody soon, they may have texted you or they may have posted on social media, like you are accurate in that thinking, but you are also detaching yourself from that energy. Not out of ego, it's out of self-preservation is what I'm getting. Um, but also having that intuition that somebody will message you and they do, or they're about to post something and they do. Like it's this sharp end of the sword. It's a spiraling thoughts of your sleeplessness. It's looping what could have been. And some of you are in a happier place, but it also says that, were you right to detach and let this person go? I feel that is almost like your inner masculine wanting to take action, but your inner feminine knows healing is happening through presence without pursuing, without chasing. And I feel like this is your energy right now, Divine Feminines, is even if your divine masculine came to you right now and told you, I want everything with you, I was an idiot for not doing this sooner, like, what would you do? Like, how would your body react and feel? Would you recoil or would you say yes? Because when we go through certain forms of our own transformation and evolution, we sometimes have to admit to ourselves that, am I choosing the right thing for me? Right? Am I choosing the right thing for the greater good? Um, and I feel like some of you are in this position where you're just thinking that, I have committed, I have been loyal all of this time, and now it's time to put my own needs and wants and desires first, right? And the funny thing about this Ten of Cups, right in the middle of all of this chaos, all of this commotion that is happening, it's the ideal. You have a vision in your brain of the ideal, of the dream, of your own emotional fulfillment. And it's representing this knowing your worth, representing how worthy you actually are, on a deep soul level. And this has come from those years of putting your counterpart on the pedestal or even trying to build your own pedestal. But now you are saying, oh, I'm evolving and I'm transforming myself, and this may not serve me right now. So you're no longer accepting scraps. You're, putting your foot down when it comes to breadcrumbing. Like, you are understanding your energy is a form of currency of the highest regard. Like, you are so powerful and you're not here to abuse it, but it's saying that your heart, your vision deserves, and you need to honor and deserve that type of respect for yourself. There is some tension around here. It's almost as if I've been detaching from my masculine. I know I'm on the right path, but I still can't quite see it all. And it's like that nervous energy, but instead of a doubtfulness, you're continuing to protect your energy. You're not giving up on love, you're just refining your standards and you're protecting yourself by detaching. And I feel like that's a very powerful space to be in. And then we've also got that Five of Pentacles and the Hanged Mouse, right? You may be feeling that lack, the rejection, the abandonment. And some of these had actually been mirrored from your childhood wounds or past relationships where you weren't fully seen, acknowledged. Maybe you weren't even treated the way you needed to be treated because you didn't know what that looked like. And the Hanged Mouse also shows that you're willing to pause, you're willing to surrender to gain a higher perspective, and it's not passive. You're actually choosing not to react anymore. So, this void that you have been sitting in, it means that you're not repeating those old cycles, and that's so powerful. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, you're not checking up on them because you're worried about where you are or where they are or whether they've moved on. It feels as if now you've moved on. And it's not out of spite or desperation or longing. It's just this understanding that you do deserve the highest, most beautiful, blossoming love. And you deserve to be showing that to yourself. So, as you're emulating this energy outwards, it's going to be met. It's going to be met by other people. So, this Three of Pentacles is also allowing you to collaborate, to rebuild, and also come into this triad between your inner self, your inner child, your higher self, right? This spiritual teamwork, maybe even your guides are supporting you at this time. And I said in a previous message that you're going to have signs and symbols from your spirit team. This is just an extra confirmation. And I'm also seeing that you're laying those foundations to match your long-term goals. So you're not building a temple with sand, you're actually cleaning the temple that you've housed, and you're nurturing it, you're honoring it, you're valuing it in a way that you hadn't before. And then I'm also seeing that you've got the Three of Swords and the Five of Wands, it's this residual heartbreak. It could have been the tension and the conflict, maybe even energetically or internally, maybe not overtly external. There may be this sense of competing or differing of opinions, like your head and your heart, or your desire, or your dignity, or even your old self versus your evolved self. You're probably transmuting the pain that was once personalized, which was the Three of Swords, into soul growth, which is the Judgment, which I'm going to come to in a second. But this transmutation does take some focus, it takes some effort. And because at the bottom of the deck, we do have the Five of Cups and the Judgment card, this regret, this disappointment, this emotional chaos has been echoing. But you know that there's a positive turn because the Judgment is a spiritual wake-up call. You've been divinely aligned and invited to rise above the drama, rise above the stories, and rise above the past. It's about stepping into your highest frequency, even when your human heart hurts of what could have been. A lot of time has passed, and even if you're psychically more sensitive, more intuitive, instead of leaning into the old loop, you are choosing to elevate. You're putting an archetype of the divine masculine, which embodies power, protection, presence, as your visual reminder to let you know that you choose the vision of love that you see, that shows up, that holds depth and devotion, and you're choosing to see yourself in that way, and the universe will mirror that. So if you're feeling that you're in a void between the collapse and creation, you're probably grieving something that never really fully bloomed, but you're not actually willing to water anymore. And then you're calling in something more aligned with your soul's truth, and your higher self is really congratulating you, applauding you for putting your boundaries in and sticking to what you truly value. And you never did before. You never put yourself first. You always put other people, and it could have been people-pleasing tendencies, but now you're realizing that you can still be supportive of the collective, of others, but you also need to have those boundaries for yourself to blossom and give that residual energy. So if you enjoyed this, I'm going to do an extended reading for my Divine Sacred Tarot members. So if you aren't already part of the community, head over to divinesacredtarot.com. The link is in the description box. And I'm going to show you the cards and also do a clarification reading. And also there were more cards that want to be revealed. So that's exciting. So I'm going to go straight into that. And if you wanted to get the extended reading, head over to divinesacredtarot.com. Make sure you like this video, and please, please let me know how you resonated, if at all. I'd love to hear from you. I love reading your comments, and I'll speak with you all soon. Bye for now.